Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the gentleman from Utah for yielding. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of H.R. 2050, the Idaho Wilderness Water Resources Protection Act. This bipartisan, non-controversial legislation is a technical fix intended to enable the Forest Service to authorize and permit existing historical water diversions within Idaho wilderness. Last Congress, one of my constituents came to me for help with the problem. The Middle Fork Lodge has a water diversion within the Frank Church River of No Return wilderness area that existed before the wilderness area was established and is protected under statute. The diversion is beginning to leak and was in desperate need of repairs to ensure that it did not threaten the environment and watershed, but it turned out that the Forest Service did not have the authority to issue the lodge a permit to make the necessary repairs. As we looked at this issue, we discovered that the Forest Service lacked the authority throughout both the Frank Church Wilderness area, of which there are 22 known water developments, and the Selway Bitterroot Wilderness, where there are 3. These diversions are primarily used to support irrigation and minor hydropower generation for use on non-federal lands. While the critical situation at the Middle Fork Lodge brought this issue to my attention, it is obvious that this problem is larger than just one diversion. At some point in the future, all 25 of these existing diversions will need maintenance or repair work done to ensure their integrity. H.R. 2050 authorizes the Forest Service to issue special use permits for all qualifying historic water systems in these wilderness areas. I believe it is important that we get ahead of this problem and ensure that the Forest Service has the tools necessary to manage these lands. For these reasons, I've introduced H.R. 2050. The legislation, which passed the House last Congress, allows the Forest Service to issue the required special use permits to owners of historic water systems and sets out specific criteria for doing so. Providing this authority will ensure that existing water diversions can be properly maintained and repaired when necessary and preserves beneficial use for private property owners who hold water rights under state law. I've deeply appreciated the cooperation of the Forest Service in addressing this problem. Not only have they communicated with me the need to find a system-wide solution on this issue, but at my request they drafted this legislation to ensure that it only impacts specific targeted historic diversions, those with valid water rights that cannot feasibly be relocated outside of the wilderness area. H.R. 2050 is bipartisan and non-controversial. I know of no opposition to this bill. It is intended as a simple, reasonable solution to a problem that I think we can all agree should be solved as quickly as possible. I'm encouraged that the committee held hearings on this bill, and I'm hopeful that we can move it through the legislative process without delay so that the necessary maintenance to these diversions may be completed before the damage is beyond repair.